Yo, what's up guys, it's LR Gamer, and this is my first video in my DMO guide series. I'm doing this as a way to help you guys, so let me know what you want to see next in the comments or on Discord. Also, for clarification, these guides are based mostly on my own experience, so if things are wrong or I don't give enough details, I apologize in advance and feel free to correct me. I'm also going to timestamp the different sections of the video so you can skip ahead to what you want to see. First off, what is equipment? Equipment, clothing, or gear are Tamer equipable items that give your Tamer or Digimon big increases to their stats. The stats a piece of equipment can boost vary from the type of equipment, such as a top or shirt, to the equipment's rarity or power. Stats are the different number values we can see on our Tamer and Digimon menus. There are 9 main stats that affect a Digimon's strength, being HP, Digisoul, attack, attack speed, critical hit, hit rate, defense, block, and evasion. There are 17 different equipable item slots on a Tamer, so I know it can get confusing. And for this video, I'm simply going to break it down into one section and doing the other half in a different video. We're going to start with the left side with the head slot, the fashion slot, the top slot, the bottom slot, the gloves slot, the shoe slot, the outfit slot, the ID slot, and the goggles slot. First off, the ID card slot. The ID card is not only a cosmetic item for your Tamer's name, but it can also provide stat boost and even more useful, the magnetic effect. That magnetic effect is an effect that when you kill an enemy Digimon and they drop loot, it will automatically pick it up without the need to pick it up, as long as you're not in a party with others. ID cards can also have other effects such as HP and strength boosts, as well as XP boosts. Typical ID cards will have limited amount of time to them, such as 7 or 30 days. However, there are permanent ones available to get, such as from the arena for 500 hard mode coins or 1,000 normal coins. Next off are outfits. Outfits are a cosmetic item that cover your entire Tamer. However, they won't always appear on them due to them being either character restricted or simply just not made for the character, that they won't appear. There are lots of outfits in the game, ranging from the yellow soccer uniform that new players usually get, to Santa's uniform or the recent cat pajamas. Outfits can give a variety of stat boosts, differing from every different kind you can get. However, the two primary ones are usually movement speed and XP boost. You'll find that when you're not wearing a uniform, your movement speed tends to be a lot slower, and then when you put one on, you'll see how much faster I move. You'll typically earn outfits from events such as this beginner's bonus or other kind of events. However, there has been recent ways to earn permanent versions, such as the cat pajamas, which are character restricted, and they were earned from the data summon, so right now it's not very easily attainable, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. And as for the other time-limited versions, you'll typically get them every month at least for events, so if yours is about to run out, I wouldn't worry about it. And I wouldn't recommend buying them from other players too, as they can be quite expensive. Before I get into the actual clothing itself, I did want to mention goggles. Uh, Goggles are an equipable item that give you stat increases. However, the way to get them is either buying them from players for a really high price or from grinding them from the Shinjuku slash Digimon Tamers maps from quests and raid bosses and stuff. However, they're pretty annoying to grind, and I really don't recommend them as compared to the other clothing and equipment you can get. It's not the biggest increase, so I really wouldn't worry about it for right now. For the first piece of clothing I'm going to go over, I'm going to talk about shoes. The typical shoes you'll find will give you a movement speed increase, and the higher rarity shoes you can find will give additional stats as well. However, the ones I have here don't give more stats, just the speed increases. You can buy a simple pair of shoes from the Mary NPC in DATS for around 280 M, so pretty cheap price for them. However, they do only last a week. Similarly to outfits, you can earn more advanced versions from events or reward events, stuff like that. And you can also buy them from player shops or the cash shop. Next up are gloves. Gloves' primary stat boost is to attack. You can buy a 7-day basic version from the Mary NPC in DATS. However, it won't give any other stats besides XP boost, while more advanced versions can give attack and Digisoul boost, as well as other various effects. You can earn more advanced versions from events, the cash shop, or player shops. However, I don't recommend it as they give them away often enough to have a set, so I wouldn't worry about it. And also, there are versions available from hard mode dungeons, which I'll talk more about later. Next up are pants. Pants' primary stat buff is to defense, and you can also buy a basic version from Mary that lasts a week. However, again, they only buff XP and no additional stats by default. And again, similar to the gloves, you can earn them from events, buy them from the cash shop or other players, but also you can get them from dungeon drops, from the hard mode dungeon. So I'll talk about that later, so don't worry about it. Next up is shirts. Shirts' primary stat buffs are to HP, and you'll see a common trend with the default set you can buy from Mary is that they only give XP, while more advanced versions will also have additional effects. And again, you can get it from the cash shop, player shops, events, and from dungeons. Next we have the fashion item. Fashion's main buff is to Digisoul, and you'll see with some of the other items, such as the head item, and even sometimes with accessories, that they have Digisoul increases. Before I start talking about attributes, you may have noticed that the two different sets of clothes I have a big difference between them. The set I bought from Mary has a time restriction from which its buffs are applied, while my normal set doesn't have any restriction on it. And these permanent sets are a more recent addition to the game, not usually being earnable for free besides the newest set, which I won't go over since it's not new player friendly at all. But there have been times to earn permanent sets from the season pass, such as the previous season pass, which let you choose one with a ticket. But as for the rechargeable ones, you'll find them in time periods of 1 day to 7 days to 30 days. But Don't worry, because even if they run out, there is a way to add more time to them. If you come over to Dorufin in Dat Center, and you'll see he opens the normal recharge page. I can't put an item in here since it still has time left, but what this normal recharge is, over a period of time, such as 24 hours, an item that is out of its buff period will get about a day back from it. You can also use the instant recharge. Apologies for not being able to show because I don't have uh, a quit item. That's when it's out of its buff period, it'll say quit instead of the time remaining. And the instant recharge, by putting the item in, you can use a currency called rechargeable energy to instantly add time back, ranging from 1 day to 7 days to 15 days to 30 days, which is the amount of rechargeable energy needed going up each time. You may have noticed on some of the clothing spots that there were empty spaces called slots and an apply attribute stat next to them as well. These are for the attribute items, which attributes are stat buffing equips that you can put onto clothes. You may have gotten some from enemies or quest rewards, and they kind of look like this weird gray camera thing. They come in 5 different types, being max HP, max Digisoul, attack, defense, and speed. Okay, now you're wondering, how do I equip attributes? Well, first, after you have some attributes to use, take them to Dorufin. This third section here, once you're on this screen, click your attribute and you'll be able to identify it. You'll pay a cost, it'll scan, and then it'll change to a colored variation and it'll say confirmed now. You can now take it out, and that means it's ready to be added to a piece of equipment. You'll see here that this is a top item. So by taking the shirt I have, I can now put the shirt into the attribute, and it lets me see the slots it has. And now I can now put the attribute into it and merge it for our cost as well. Now that I have the attribute equipped to the shirt, you'll see that it's telling me how much it's applying to the shirt. The shirt only has 100% apply rate, so I'm getting 100% of the 18 HP increase attribute. And you'll see that right now I'm at 1960 HP, and when I equipped the shirt, I went up by 18 to my Tamer. You may be wondering, how important can clothing be? Well, I want to show you the difference between this default set of clothing, no clothing, and then my set of clothing. So first, you can see the stats of my Digimon and Tamer before I apply any equipment. And next, with just the default equip, you can see there's no real change because the only stat I'm adding to is HP, and it's such a small increase that you're not going to really notice anything. And now, I'm going to show you my equipment. You can see how much my stats went up after I equipped my clothing. And I want to quickly mention that the way clothing applies is a little weird. You'll see that some of the clothing have the little gray area, I want to mention how sometimes the way stats are applied to your Tamer or Digimon are a little weird. Some of those center values apply directly to the Digimon versus directly to the Tamer. For example, when I remove my gloves, which is my trendy smartwatch, you'll see that the stats didn't really change that much, as the stats were applied to the Tamer. However, when I remove my fashion item, these wireless headphones, you'll see my hit rate went down by exactly 500, which is the value it applied, which means the value is applied directly to my Digimon. I know it's a little confusing, and I wouldn't worry about it too much as you're getting the stats either way, but I do want to mention that with recent clothing sets, such as the new Metal Greymon dungeon drops, they have stated that it'll apply directly to the Digimon, so hopefully in the future this means other sets that we're able to get will always apply to the Digimon instead of to the Tamer for the percentage. Quick little mention, besides getting them from enemies and dungeon drops, attributes can also be bought from players. Let's look at some mouse movement speed. So for 15M we can get a 1% movement speed for shoes, and that's not too bad. I'd buy that. But some prices can go up a lot more. Like if I look for HP attribute rank E4, you'll see now it's 5T, but it is 1000 HP, so that's pretty good. But unless you have a lot of T, I wouldn't recommend going for this, and just any cheaper attributes you can get I would use for now, since they're removable and you don't have to worry about it being stuck on a piece of clothing. That about covers everything I wanted to say about clothing and attributes. I'm sorry if this video was a little all over the place. It's the first one I'm making, so thanks for being chill with me about that. But again, if I missed anything, feel free to let me know and tell me what you want to see next. Thanks for watching.